Next question is from Vlam. Could you tell us more about the investors of the Magog cartel, once described during an interview as fleas in suits and ties, living underground?
Did we miss nine, or did we
We
encapsulate that
we we
into?
covered nine right at the beginning, so I'm just
Oh,
gonna
okay. There you go.
skip
There you
over it. Yeah.
go. Okay, great. And the images are there. Yeah. So fleas in suits and ties. We've yet to really see the true power class of Oddworld. We've yet to see the boardroom at the highest level, right? It's kind of like we've yet to see the Federal Reserve Board on the Oddworld, right? Which is, basically in the old days they just used to call them vipers. And so what I was thinking of as a inspiration, let's say that these parasites uh, evolved into Gucci wearing suits, right? Like Armani level polished. But what if their origins were, if we got into that room where the biggest power players were, and we haven't seen them yet, but if we did
Mhm.
get into them, what did they evolve out of? And so our initial target was fleas, lice, tapeworms, um, things that were kind of hideous parasitic infections if you had them. If you've ever, watched these dog rescues or something where they're just taking millions of ticks off a dog, it's just almost anything that's infected in a nasty way with parasites is always a big heartbreak for me. I'm like, oh God, the suffering that goes with parasites, and universally hated, right?
Yeah.
Like no one's like, no, I like ticks. I
Yeah.
like
No one says
mosquitoes.
that.
No one's saying that, right? I like cockroaches. I mean, maybe somebody, but there's certainly a lonely group.
There is
Um,
there is actually, if you ever on Reddit, there is a subreddit dedicated to what is this insect,
oh well,
or thing, and uh, people are like, "That's a tick,"
yeah,
or,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a so if you just go look for, if you're looking at production design, you want to design something, the better designer thinks more about the origins of what it is, and ideally, they're not just trying to come up with a cool creature. Like I can get a little annoyed with that at times. With if I'm working with a designer, I'm like, I need you to think more about it. Like if you ever talk to Sid Mead about design, you just I was fortunate enough to know him, be friends with him for a long time before he passed. But Sid Mead, who designed Blade Runner, right? If you talk to that guy about design, you just instantly felt like he didn't think very deeply at all. And it was always so impressive to me. And it's not because he was pedantic or he just thought about it differently, and that's really defined his worlds he was creating differently. And I would say on the dark end, you go to HR Geiger and you look at how he thought about these things, and then how he would emerge a landscape, and you can see why Ridley Scott would go to him to figure out Alien, because it was just so much out of his own evolutionary design patterns, and very dark. So to me, um, the more that you have depth in origin, then the more that it could shape a more interesting design that has history. And so for us, when we get to that point where we're hopefully uh, getting there and showing the real power players, we're going to meet new species, and they'll have originated out of more like the ticks and the fleas class, but now they're cigar smoking, cigar smoking Armani wearing Titans.
Yep. I think we've got a future episode plan where we're going to talk about the Magog cartel in a bit more detail. Um,
Nice.
I do believe.